Hello, everyone, and welcome to a new year and new season on The Wrap, Michigan Medicine's employee podcast. I'm Dan Ellman with the Department of Communication.
And I'm Dan's trusty sidekick, Jeremy Fallis. Today, we're going to talk about sustainability and steps the organization is taking to help protect the environment.
Now, as I mentioned, this is our first podcast of 2024, but be sure you go take some time to get caught up on any of the 2023 episodes you may have missed, including the year in review, which came out in late December. You can find it on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, or any other podcast hosting platform. New episodes debut weekly, can also be found on the Michigan Medicine YouTube channel, and as part of the Headlines Week in Review.
So on that note, let's bring in two members of the team that are instrumental in helping Michigan Medicine enhance its environmental sustainability. Derek Terry, the Senior Administrative Manager for Contract and Retail Services, and Tony Denton, the Senior Vice President and Chief Environmental, Social, and Governance Officer. Thank you to both of you for joining us today.
My pleasure.
All right, now recently in Headlines, we had a feature story about the plastic bottled water replacement project. Can you tell us about that project and what it entails?
Here at the hospital, we are looking to kind of reduce our use of single-use plastics here in the retail setting. So what we are looking to do is convert all single-use plastic water bottles to either aluminum or boxed water. This will be sold in all of our cafeterias, our vending spaces here on the medical campus. Plastic bottle replacement, it aims to reduce and find eco-friendly alternatives to single-use plastics, which will reduce environmental impacts for those single-use plastics. It also involves promoting reusable options and developing sustainable materials as well.
Tony, can you tell us a little bit about the origin of this project? How did it come to be?
Sure. This plastic bottle initiative is one of several. It's part of our environmental sustainability, carbon neutrality initiative to improve planetary health. And as we think about plastic bottles, plastic water bottles in particular, and how they enter the waste stream, we wanted to take a real hard look and figure out how we can remove what turns out to be 113,000 or so bottles from the waste stream, to take that out and to find suitable alternatives that helps to address landfill use, as well as to protect our oceans and sea life.
Now, 113,000 is an incredible impact, and it's just a huge project. It talks about the scope of that project. Who was pivotal in getting this accomplished, both at U of M Health and maybe some external partners who are helping with this?
Yeah, so one person who is absolutely pivotal in this is obviously Tony Denton in leading this effort, along with Chris Victory as well, who is involved with our sustainability group. Some of the outside agencies and some of the folks we are partnering with, some of our contractors, Airmark, Picasso, as well as Continental Canteen. These are all groups that work with us. These are all contractors that work within the health system and have been super supportive in this effort to kind of change the way we are thinking about single-use plastics and how they affect our environment. So we've had nothing but positive support from all of our vendors as well. So
these efforts that includes collaboration with other agencies and organizations is fundamental to our ability to transform and to address the challenges that we face with global warming and climate change. So as we think about the different companies that we interact with, we're looking for alignment of vision and interest to do the same, because we can't do this by ourselves, obviously, particularly when it comes to changing the way we do things, which includes who we buy things from. And so we have to have engagement and agreement in order to advance.
And, just to kind of talk a little more about that, when I first got involved with the sustainability group here, I didn't have a lot of information on kind of, single-use plastics or their impact on the environment till I really started digging into this actual project, I guess. And looking at the data out there, it was eye-opening. when you really dig into the effects that the single-use plastics have in our oceans, like Tony had said, for instance. I believe there are some statistics out there that state that by 2050, I believe, there will be more plastic in our oceans than there will be fish or animals in our oceans. So it was eye-opening for me to kind of see that kind of that information, which really kind of changed my outlook on it altogether, because I just didn't know or understand it. But at this point, I always look at it like I want to leave this place better for my kids. And it really got me to change even the way I operate at home. And when I think about single-use plastic.
So you pretty much answered the next question I have for you about, positive impacts of replacing, single-use bottles here at UM Health. But maybe you could tell me a little bit more about why aluminum is being used, why boxed water, and what those products are, and what people will be expecting to see in the cafeterias and vending machines moving forward.
Yeah, so we did do some research and what is out there, what are our options out there when we look at trying to reduce or eliminate single-use plastic bottles. So the one main thing that we realized is out there is aluminum. It's actually kind of a new thing. It's aluminum bottled water, and also the boxed water, which has been out there for a little while. Which we will be carrying both of them. The aluminum we went with because obviously aluminum has a sustainable kind of recyclable ability to it. It can be recycled over and over, where most of your single-use plastics can't be recycled at all. And there's also recycle streams that we already have set up for aluminum. So that would be another kind of positive thing, that we already have the recycling stream for this. So we understood that might make it easier as far as this transition to aluminum goes. So.
Yeah, nearly 75% of all aluminum is recycled and still in use today. Right. So it's very durable.
I think it's really interesting because so often you're told like recycle your bottles of water or your plastic bottles. And you don't realize that on the back end, so much of that isn't getting recycled, even if you put it in the bins, right, to get them recycled. You put them down at the street to be taken by recycling. They're still just one-time use, and a lot of them just end up in the landfill anyway. So it's really interesting and important what you're doing. And I know that this project is one of many when it comes to sustainability. And maybe, Tony, you can talk about this a little bit first. What else is in store for Planet Blue at U of M Health? I know that you've got the plastic water. We've talked about some recycling in the ORs and things like that. There are so many different projects going on. What can we expect next?
Yeah, the medical plastics recycling initiative in the OR will carry over throughout this year. So we started in the Children and Women's Hospital. We have other sites to take that initiative to, including UH, CVC, Brighton, Kellogg, East. Medical campus. So that initiative will continue to move on into future phases. We're doing a lot in clinical sustainability. We'll continue to carry out our measures of what's happening with green anesthesia. We're starting an initiative on greening radiology, looking at how to conserve more energy with the technologies that we have in place, the MRI in particular. We're doing a audit in pathology for a greening pathology initiative, also with the intent to make it as environmentally friendly as possible, given the breadth, the depth of our laboratories across our healthcare settings. So all of those are continuing to be key. We continue to make progress with LEED certification on the pavilion with an aim to achieve platinum certification, the highest level available for healthcare facilities. And so it's a lot of those initiatives, but it's also continuing to educate and inform how people can adopt these practices at home. What we want to do is to take these models of excellence and to really improve planetary health. We all have to do it wherever we are, not just here at work.
And I think that's such a great way to leave it. And Derek, can you remind the folks that I don't think we had the chance to mention it before? When is the date for this going into practice, and what should people expect when they enter the cafeterias in February?
I believe the date we're going to go live is February 12th. And you should start to see plain water bottles be exchanged or taken out of circulation and replaced with the aluminum bottles as well as the boxed water. So you will still continue to see some of the single-use plastic water like that we don't have an option to go to yet, but just understand that we are still looking for other options that we can reduce even further down our single-use plastics.
Thank you for that. Thank you for letting everybody know. And thank you for both of you for sharing this important information. If you want to learn more about Planet Blue and the Plastic Bottle Water Replacement Project, go to mmheadlines.org. That's mmheadlines.org.
All right, it's time for the lightning round when we ask one of our guests 4 quick fire questions. Derek, we're going to put you in the spotlight today. Are you ready to go?
Yes, let's go.
All right. So to get started, Derek, on a professional level, what are you most looking forward to in 2024?
Wow, that's a very good question. Very good question. I'm looking for a lot professionally. Honestly, this is one of the things I'm looking forward to is making this transition. It's been actually very good because, you know, when the story ran, I bet I got at least 3 emails from folks congratulating me and saying, this is awesome. It's about time we did this. I had a phone call from a gentleman from the campus side of things saying, this is a great thing to do. I'm glad you guys are doing this. So I'm honestly getting more and more excited about kind of this transfer and kind of where this will end, because I do truly believe that this is just kind of the beginning. And you know, we will continue to move forward on this, you know, environmental sustainability kind of train we're on. So,
all right, so I've got a similar question for you. On a personal level, what are you most looking forward to in 2024?
Honestly, I just took on this role. I'm new to this role. I've been in this role about 1.5 years almost now. And I am learning so much about how this University of Michigan, Michigan medicine machine moves forward. All of the different things that are in place, you know, and just understanding what it takes to move something like an organization like Michigan Medicine forward has been super exciting for me. And I am so ready to continue to learn more about how this all works and just do the best I can in this role.
Well, since you have mentioned your certain role right now, what would you say is the best piece of advice that that you've been given since you moved through your career here at Michigan Medicine?
I can say the best piece of advice would probably be think big picture. You know, I think we as I've grown up here at the university, I've been here about 22 years almost now. And you know, I've always looked at it, you know, and tried to advance myself and move up in life. And, you know, every step you can affect people, right? So as a security officer where I started out, I could affect those around me. Then I moved into supervision. I could affect my whole team. Then I moved into leadership in DPSS where I could affect a whole day shift with my kind of thoughts. And just the higher I move, I look at trying to make this place better for those that are coming behind me. So I don't know if I answered your question all the way, but that's kind of where I'm at.
I love it. And I think that's a piece of advice you can give to people that are following in your footsteps, right? Like, make it better for the people coming after you. Make it better today than it was yesterday. And I think that's part of this sustainability thing in a broader scope, right? Let's make the planet better today or better tomorrow than it is today. I think it all sort of comes full circle. All right, I have the most important question. Everybody's been paying attention to football in these parts over the last few weeks. You had Michigan winning the national title. You have the Lions on the verge of the Super Bowl. Are you into football? I hope so. And if not, are there any sports that you're a fan of?
I am absolutely into football. I absolutely admit it. Right now, you could not be in a better place for football. than in Michigan. I'll be honest with you. I watched the game last night, last night. It's just so exciting right now to be a football fan in the state of Michigan. Number one, and to me, this was even bigger than the Super Bowl when Michigan won the national championship. I have been a Michigan fan since like back in '97 when they split it, and it wasn't really fair if you ask me. But
no, Nebraska didn't deserve it.
Right. But no, it was so surreal and just awesome to see the university, be placed on that pedestal above all other universities when it comes to our football program. It was very good to see, and I'm absolutely loving it. And hopefully our Lions can do the same thing. One more win, and they're there too. So
yeah, what's your prediction? Do you got them going to the Super Bowl?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be tough. It'll be tough. I think San Francisco's good, but I do believe the Lions have, I think, a fan base now beyond Detroit. I think there are a lot of people that are wanting them to win now just because of the story. So hopefully they can pull it out.
You heard it here, Brock Purdy, Derek Terry coming for you.
That's right.
Well, thank you, Derek, for playing along today. And again, if you want to learn more about the sustainability work here at Michigan Medicine, go to mmheadlines.org. That's mmheadlines.org.
And while you're there, you can find this week's featured stories, including a look at Windows 11, which will soon be rolled out across the organization. Learn about that project and much, much more at mmheadlines.org.
Okay, Dan, we asked Derek what he is most looking forward to in 2024. How about you?
Well, much like him, I'm looking forward to the Lions Super Bowl title. So that's definitely something. I have a couple things that I'm looking forward to on the sports front. So I'm the head coach of the Michigan Wolverines, which is the kids wheelchair basketball team here at Michigan Medicine. And we just this past weekend went to our first tournament since before COVID. So it was 4 years in the making and a lot of hard work and getting the kids back. And we're out in Indiana, and we're going to have at least another tournament in March. And then in the fall, we'll be going back. So I'm really looking forward to that and traveling with the team and giving these kids an awesome experience. And then on a really personal level, I'm looking forward to good health this year. I had some health setbacks last year, and I got through them all, which is great. So I'm really looking forward to a much healthier 2024, and I can make sure that I'm doing absolutely everything I want to be doing. So how about you, Jeremy?
I mean, first of all, congrats to you and your Wolverines. First of all, terrific marketing, great name, and it's good to see your kids playing so well and having a lot of fun out there. Congratulations.
And sneak peek of next week's podcast, we will be talking about the Wolverines a little bit more. So,
we're all about trying to market in the future. So yes. Congratulations again. That was well earned. For me, for 2024, obviously having a family of young kids, they're always asking about what's next. And we're just waiting for the snow to melt so we can go outside and do more things. Then go sledding and do stuff like that. But when it's a polar vortex and about to rain today, you really can't do either when it's too cold or too wet. So looking forward to the summer, traveling around with them and seeing the new experiences. It's fun seeing the world through their eyes and getting to give them experiences that maybe me and my wife didn't have as kids growing up. And it's just been a blast to see them grow up and get to see the world and experience lots of things for the first time and get that excitement as well.
That's awesome. Yep. All right, it's time for the weekly trivia contest. This week's question is, who was recently named the next chief nurse executive at U of M Health? Once again, who was recently named the next chief nurse executive at U of M Health? You can find the answer in headlines, and once you know it, send it to headlines@med.umich.edu for the chance to win a prize.
That's all we have for today. Thank you to Tony and Derek once again for joining us. And thanks as always to our listeners and viewers for everything that you do for patients, families, and each other. We'll see you next week.